Where are you going, Mr. B? Mr. B, come back! Welcome guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Jish. Today is a continuation of the last video with the wiring. We are going to be looking at the starting and the ignition system on the M unit with this XJ650 build. So hold on tight and enjoy the video. Before we get this video started, I just want to mention that I've been reading the comments and taking on board what you say. The indicators that you mentioned in the previous video, yes, we are going to be spacing them out slightly. The only reason I put them there is because the brackets were already there and they were just ready to go on. I do agree that they are far too close to the headlights and something needs to be done. So yeah, we'll get to that later on. But for now, we're going to continue with the M unit setup. So before we can go any further, we really need to sort out the power supply. This battery here is just a regular battery for me to test with because I don't really want to use my lithium battery for testing. If you know, lithium batteries are not very good with voltage fluctuations, so for now I'm just going to use this old lump here just to get things going so I can power it up and not worry about the voltage drop and then therefore damaging the battery. This here will be a nice sturdy one. Also, it's going to be used for that bike when we come to it. So before we can get too far into this, we've got a 40 amp fuse here to go in between the battery and the M unit because they recommend and specify that you do need a fuse for just in case anything happens, any voltage surges and all that. And this little thing right here will do the job nicely. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this installed, then we can start looking at the starting system because it all kind of comes together. Okay, so this is what we have so far. A really short wire into this 40 amp fuse and then a wire up here to the battery. I've put this battery in place just to kind of get a rough idea how the length we need and everything, but obviously we're not going to be using it. But yeah, that will sit there. But there you go, that's the idea of how it will sit and it's fairly neat. So next up is the starting system. Where have I put it? Here we have the starter solenoid, and I have 3D printed a bracket. I designed it myself and I got Matt at Rushworth Performance to print it for me. But since doing this, I'm looking at getting my own printer just because of how handy it can be for all these parts. But yeah, this is just a real simple holder for it. I might put a little bit of Velcro down so we can stick it down and pull it off and move it if we need. But for now, it does the job and it'll keep it square against the base. It's basically fitting a round peg in a square hole for now. So let's get started with the starting system. Right, we've got the starter side set up. I haven't actually got this starter hooked up yet just because I don't want to crank it over just this second. But we're going to test the solenoid to see if it works. We have put the other battery back on just for testing purposes. And yeah, let's just go through this now. So the way this works is we've got two main power supplies, one that goes through this fuse into the M unit and this other one that goes to the starter solenoid. That starter solenoid then goes off to the starter and comes round ground and power into these two starting ports on the M unit. So all we've got to do now is get the bike started with this key I've got set up. Don't ask, this is my key. The M unit is now powered up, and if we push the start button, everything powers up, and you can hear. You can see with the lights as well. So that works. Obviously we don't have the starter connected up, and if we did it would fire over the starter motor, but that's good enough for me for now. We might look at it later on in the episode, but I do want to give the engine a bit of a flush and a clean out before we go and start it and make sure everything is nice and tight. So yeah, we can now move on to the ignition side of things. So first and foremost, we have the RICS regulator and rectifier. I've made a little bracket for it and we're going to be fitting it. Now bear with me, this may change. I might get some comments saying, no, don't do that because it's above the engine, it's going to soak up a load of heat. But we're going to have it tucked under just here. Now, I don't know if that is too close to the engine, I don't know. My reasoning is it's going to have a very good airflow just here above the engine, but I do agree it might soak up the heat of the engine. So let me know down in the comments, is that going to be okay or should I move it? So now it's just a case of getting the coils put in place and wire those in. Right, okay, let me update you with where we are now. Basically, I've had some troubles with the starter motor and with the ignition side of things, the two things we're doing in this video. The starter motor was fairly simple. Basically, the starter motor has been struggling to turn over, and I was doing all this off camera just to get a bit of testing in place, just to see if it was actually working, and I didn't want to blow anything up. And it was just struggling a little bit. Turning over, and it didn't have enough oomph to crank out the engine over. So I ended up taking the starter motor apart, checking out what was wrong with it, and I found one of the brushes was making a very slight contact but not enough, and it was basically shorting out and burning. So what I did was tighten up the spring, get it pushed on there properly, put it all back up, and now it starts. So I'll show you that shortly, but let's talk about what's going on with the ignition side. So as you can see here, I've got a huge jumble mess of wires. Everything is in place though, everything is as it should be. It's just in the testing phases, hence why all the crocodile clips, just to kind of make sure everything is where it needs to be. I did actually check the coils, and one of the tests showed they had problems. So I kind of assumed that the coils are no good. I've actually ordered a set just in case, so wait for those to come, but let's see if we can get these ones working. At the moment, we don't have a spark. And I think I found out the reason why after ages trying to figure this out. So here's me thinking it's all the stuff I've done and all my wiring and everything, where in fact I've followed the wires back from this ignition box, the original wiring that come all the way down here, comes under here. I was checking out all the wiring and I noticed this. That orange wire, it's not connected. So this is the orange wire for the ignition. There's also another wire there that's bare. Basically, this wire is shoddy and I need to relook at this and get all this sorted. So hopefully this is the problem. I won't know until we try and find out. I even went as far as taking the coil off the GS just to test, and I know they're good coils, so when I put that on there, it didn't work, and I was just like, what is going on? We're getting there though, guys, so let's get that wiring sorted out and let's get this bike turned over. Okay, we've sorted out that bit of wiring. I just want to test this thing. So you haven't heard this bike started yet. You haven't heard this turned over. So we've got everything connected up. I've got a spark plug on there. I'm going to ground it and let's just see if we can get a spark. Wish me luck. Okay, that was a very faint spark, but that was a spark. Whoa, yes. Okay, so that's good. Yes, we got spark. So we have spark. All we need now is a little bit of fuel and hopefully we can fire it up. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because there's still a long way to go before we can get it properly running, but if I get this bike running today in this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you press that like button and share this video. Let's try and get this bike started. Right, so I've got my bike on a fuel drip now, so we don't need the tank. We've got the plugs in, we've got the caps on, so all we need to do is give it a bit of fuel, get the electrics on, and crank it over. This is the first bit of fuel the carbs have had since being rebuilt. Okay. Open the door, just in case. Right, we're going to get the jumper pack on now just to make sure we've got enough juice in the battery. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's all it'll be. Just no fuel or air getting together. Right, we're still having trouble starting, but I'm going to put a tiny amount of fuel in each of the balls just to get it going, just because they're looking a bit dry. There's fuel in the carbs, it's nice and clean. We've got spark, there's no reason why it won't start, so just needs a little bit of a helping hand. So I've probably put 1 centilitre in across all 4 cylinders, so not a lot at all. Hopefully it's enough just to ignite the fire. That's what happens. Looks like it's not having it today, so I'm not going to try and force it. I'm going to come away and get a fresh head on it tomorrow. But we set out with what we wanted to do at the start of this video. We wanted to get the starter motor sorted. We wanted to get the ignition side sorted. Yes, it's still messy, but we know it works. So next video, we're going to get it started. We're going to get all this tidied up and sorted. So I hope you look forward to that. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Peace.